Good to go. Good win. Didn't know that we were on a 13-game heater until yesterday's post game. So it looks like we had won 14, which is the longest streak of the season. Guys played really, really good. Carsonis is just such a rock on a Sunday. You feel like you really know what you're going to get. It's just going to be compete at the highest level, good velocity, strike thrower, really wants to win. And then the offense, it felt like for the first time in maybe 10 days, really started getting going, where we put somebody away and we eventually got to their starter. And then from there, we rolled pretty good. And being able to sweep our third conference series is something that's really special. I think in the decade I've been here, we've never done that. I don't know if that's ever been done in program history here. So really good week. Look forward to having a little bit of time off. I know the guys really do tomorrow to be able to enjoy their families and hang out and reset a little bit and just be gracious and thankful for everything we have.
Steve, 34 wins, most going into the month of May in program history. Each game's a game, but does it speak anything to the foundation the program already is on? To reach that now?
Yeah. I don't think those are kind of things that don't happen by accident. I don't think you can't fall your way into that. There's been so much work over the course of years and years and years by everybody that's involved with the program and everybody that's touched this program. And I talked to the team at the end of the game today, and just I think it's important to reflect once in a while on how far we've come. When I first got here, there were a couple hundred people in the stands. We were just trying to get this thing going, and to see the crowds and the electricity. And I notice a lot of things on a daily basis. I mean, we have people that groom the turf, and 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. And we have people that restock a nutrition station. And when I first got here, we didn't have a nutrition station. And we have people that sit up here and clean up after our players when they eat in a meal room. And when I got here, there wasn't a meal room. And so the list just goes on and on and on and on and on, from player to manager to staff member. When I was here, if you had two of your best players on the team out, you had zero chance of winning a game, let alone sweeping a Big 12 series. And so it's just continued to evolve and get better. And that's just because of countless hours of so many different people that are trying to pull the rope in the same direction.
How big of a preparation and week workload thing is going from a starter to a reliever or vice versa? I know Coach Mazey was big on long toss. Are you kind of still on that? Do you have your own program that you are implementing? How's that work?
Every pitcher has a little bit of a different program, so certainly each pitcher has an individualized plan based on who they are, what their role is currently, and then what we think they could be on. I have about that much to do with those programs. Chris Riley and Justin Oney design and implement. I ask questions and support and research and try to do my best to understand that, but I'm not running the pitching staff. I don't pretend to be running the pitching staff. What we do a really good job of is never letting anybody fall through the cracks, or we believe that all 40 people that are possibilities of making a 30-man roster are critical to our team's success. As far as before the game today, the players that didn't make the 30-man through sim games inside against live hitters at 10 a.m. So we don't take for granted that because you're not one of the top 15 arms today that you couldn't be tomorrow. And I think that's probably a philosophy and a culture that has allowed us to grow. But when we're there at 10 a.m. today and we have redshirt pitchers thrown against redshirt hitters, it's with intensity, and guys are getting on each other, and we're focusing on specific ways to get better. And so if that's really the goal and you have a growth mindset through everything and every player and everything you do, you have a chance to build a program.
Anything else? Talk a little bit about Carsonis. The preseason, you seem pretty high on him, ball permitting. It's obviously worked out pretty well, but what's allowed him to maybe even go a step further than you could have imagined at this moment?
I think the health matched with the pitching plan has allowed him to make big strides. A guy that needed multiple procedures this summer, he may have, quote unquote, been healthy previously, but maybe not really. Meaning he might have been a little bit banged up, but I think a lot of these competitors like him, they just get used to feeling poorly consistently until your arm blows. And so I think actually having some of the things that needed to be done, slowing down, getting his body in a great place, and then you match that with some of the best resources and coaches in the country and a guy who really wants it with experience, and you kind of have a recipe for a kid to maybe take off.
How have you liked how Spencer's been playing at second base, kind of waiting for Sam to get maybe more healthy, moving back in there? How do you like how Spencer's been playing?
He's been great. He's won us a lot of games. He's hitting in the 8 and 9 hole this season primarily, and he's played in a ton of games. And he doesn't always start them, and he doesn't always finish them. But Spencer's played in 30 games, and he's only started in 16. And so he's in there all the time. He's a sophomore. Last year he was successful and got thrown in there with some injuries. He's a fantastic player that's got a very bright future here, and he's been a starter and a bench guy and a defensive replacement. He's a cool story because I think eventually when he becomes a surefire, no-brainer, everyday guy, left versus right, doesn't matter, he will have worked his way into that role and kind of saw the whole picture. And usually that's what makes good players great, when they have this awareness and this baseball IQ of what it takes. He's struggled more against left-handed pitching, so that's why early on he wasn't always starting. And so that's usually just an evolution of an offensive player, like learning how to hit the same-sided breaking ball is difficult.
Stephen, Easter is kind of specific to baseball season that other sports aren't playing around it, at least in college a lot. But is that one of the things that makes the game kind of great for you, that you can come right out of a game, go into the field with your family, do this kind of thing, and, share that with them a little bit?
Yeah, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. 2 kids and a wife that pretend to like me most days, and it's a big group of people. So the kids that they're watching every day and high-fiving post-game, those are the most motivated, hardworking young people in the world. Those kids' schedules are from 6 a.m. to midnight on certain days. They're just really, really driven kids, and they're also handling academics, and they're also the front page for a community, and the front door for the university. And so there's so much on those kids, and we ask so much of them. And so for my young kids to be able to watch what it's like to be a leader and to be a winner and to prepare and to practice hard and to be a good citizen, you can't ask for anything better. I think there's a lot of people that are in the college game, not the pro game, because you actually have a chance for team and community and winning to be part of something greater than yourself. And so I really do feel extremely lucky for that. And I know Chris Riley feels the same way. He's got 3 beautiful little girls, and they're playing different sports and they're all over, but they get to kind of grow up in a baseball field. This year has been special for them because they're in the nutrition station, they go in the team theater, and they're watching Disney movies, and then they're out on the field post-game, they're singing Country Roads. So it's a cool way to grow up. There's certainly sacrifices that come with that. Dad's not always around all the time, but I think when we get to be together, it's really special.
Thanks.
Let's go Easter it up, guys.